What the Patriots did was they had no base last year, and then they tried to create a base by spending a bunch of money last year, and now they have no more money left or resources left to supplement that base, right? So they're still lacking in a lot of areas. If you start looking around with the Patriots, the fact that they're targeting McCourty and Slater and re-signing Brian Hoyer, like it's because nobody wants to go up to New England no more. It's not a destination anymore, and secondly, like it's hard to spend year after year spend all that money. Like at the end of the day, like Robert Kraft is a businessman. What he understands is cash in, cash out, right? At the end of the day, and he's not going to constantly spend $160 million every single year just to get his roster up to snuff. Especially when Bill Belichick's calling card is finding diamonds in the rough, drafting them and then developing them. So if he's not doing any of that, then what good is Belichick when he's got to go out there every year and spend $160 million?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's the sage. He's the greatest general manager of all time too. You didn't know that?
Listen, Puma, I legitimately, and maybe we can have this conversation right now because we're on a good flow of it. I legitimately am scared of what the Patriots are going to be next year. I thought, year one after Brady was them bottoming out with Cam Newton. Year two, for all intents and purposes, I have my issues with them. They had upward trajectory. Sure, at the end of the year, they collapsed and left a bad taste in all of our mouths by getting blown off the field by the Buffalo Bills. But we can look at that year and be like, all right, well, listen, we've got a base now. Mac Jones isn't, the guy, but he's a guy that can, basically provide you with middle of the pack quarterback play. So let's build off that. Let's build off that roster. Let's try to make some moves. Let's try to bring in some help for him. But it seems like it's going backwards. And now there's reports that Brian Hoyer is actually teaching Joe Judge and Matt Patricia the offense. Because of how bad those guys are, or how bad of a base they have of the offensive knowledge of the game for the Patriots, Brian Hoyer, a quarterback, is teaching the offensive coaches on how the offense is run. And I'm just looking at all of this, and I'm thinking to myself, I have never been a big fan of Mac Jones, but I feel bad for him. I truly do. He's being put in a situation next year where they're pretending they're the Patriots from 5-6 years ago, where they're basically telling free agents that, hey, we're only gonna sign you if your market tanks and you take a discount. So I'm a loss for words for so far the Patriots quote unquote plan.
Right, and Jay, like we haven't even we only hit on the point of one offensive lineman. They traded another offensive lineman in Tampa Bay for basically an Arby's gift card.
And then Trent Brown has a visit with the Seahawks tomorrow, and it looks like that's going to go through.
Right. So, you have all that turnover in the offensive line. I know how much you love this guy too, but Brandon Bolden, he left. He's going to Vegas with his boy Josh McDaniels. So. I don't know the state of New England to hit on that real quick. It's not that great. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins found a way to sneak by and finish second behind Buffalo in the AFC East this year, and potentially you have New England maybe looking on the outside looking in for a wild card spot.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, Puma, that's not far-fetched. I mean, at the moment, I think I would agree with you, right? I mean, we both agree that Buffalo is a team that, we're not going to beat the Buffalo Bills and win the division when we can't even make them punt in consecutive games. So we all agree Buffalo's going to win that division, but I do believe that the Miami Dolphins, I mean, with all the dysfunction in the Miami Dolphins organization last year, they still swept us. What does that say? Where we were week 1 and where we were week 17 against the Miami Dolphins, nothing changed. Yeah, we had a crazy roller coaster ride up in the middle of the season, then we came crashing down, so we just the net gain was still where we started in the beginning of the year. So I would not be one bit shocked. And let's be real for a second here. The Jets are also making some quality moves. They're off the radar a little bit, and we kind of laugh at them. I know we pay them attention because they're the stinking Jets. But there's a couple moves they made where I'm interesting. That makes some sense. Okay, I can see that. I've never said that once about the Patriots so far this offseason.
Yep. Fun times, Jay, or in the words of the late, great Dusty Rhodes, hard times, daddy, hard times.
Dolphins are